This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, I welcome you all to today's session. This is day one, Microsoft Security Suite training. So the main agenda for today's session is to explain you the course content of the training that I'm going to provide you. Second thing is we will kick off the Sentinel training today. So I'll be walking you through the slides as well. So the training agenda I'll explain you later. So first thing is Azure Microsoft Sentinel. So previously it is Azure Sentinel. Now it is called as Microsoft Sentinel SIEM. So Microsoft Sentinel is a scalable cloud native security information and event management SIEM and source solution basically. So in the course content, we are going to see a lot of things, guys. A lot of things I'm going to cover, and this is also my second batch. So I have finished my previous batch on I think 27th of January. So I received a very good feedback on that as well, and based on the feedback, I'm also receiving a lot of students. So I have to create another batch for Sentinel again that will be running parallelly with you guys. So in the Sentinel training, we are going to see the Azure Analytics. Then we are going to see the Azure Sentinel in deep dive. I'm going to explain you the basic difference between the SIEM and the basic traditional SIEM that are on premise and this new cloud native Azure Sentinel. We are going to discuss a lot more in detail about the licensing and billing of Azure Sentinel so that you can recommend Sentinel to someone, or when you are working in an organization, you can talk to the management with confidence that this much amount is getting consumed, and um, a number of things are there. Then we are going to see the four phases of Microsoft Sentinel, what all things are there, and why Azure Sentinel. So here, let me use the pen once again so that, yeah, why Azure Sentinel is required. Then we are going to see the querying of the logs. That is in Azure Sentinel, we have this KQL. Not in only Azure Sentinel, in most of the Microsoft product, to query the data. If you go at the backend and you want to query the data, KQL is getting used. So we have a dedicated more than 2.5 hours of session on the KQL. So you guys will be an expert on KQL post going through the session plus doing the practical on your own. That will be required. Then we are going to see the watch list and the threat intelligence integration, how we can integrate the threat intelligence with this Sentinel. So there is no free threat intelligence available, but I have found a portal where we can integrate one of the threat intelligence. It is for free. We can see the integration, but in the last practical the data was not flowing. But yeah, you can get to know the gist how the threat intelligence work. Different data collection method, how we are going to onboard the data on the Sentinel. I'm going to explain and go in detail how to onboard a Linux log to Sentinel. Then we are going to use the log stash basically, that is part of the ELK stack. ELK is similar to Splunk, QRadar ArcSight, and this Sentinel. Both all these are brothers in the domain. So ELK, in ELK there is a forwarder component that is called as log stash. So through that we are going to onboard data into the center. Then also we will be using the API method as well to integrate the log. So once we go in detail, you will see all of things are there. We are going to see how to create dashboards and reports and how to automate reports as well. I'll be walking you through the content hub where we get the latest update on the Sentinel and the use cases, reports and dashboards, everything. We will be detecting threats using correlation rules. We are going to see the out-of-box detection and custom detection rules, and we will also be creating some of the rules here. um, then what else? Threat investigation. I'll be showing you the pan of the threat investigation, how to do it, and also we'll be covering some basic threat investigation, how to perform the threat investigation. There is an beautiful investigation graph that is I think the main UPI here of Sentinel, where we can see a lot of things by just click on the graph. So it will show a graph that this attack happened and these are the entities involved, like this type of thing. Then we are going to see the introduction to the SOAR and the playbooks, and we will also be creating one small playbook for ourselves. And the threat response, the same, it is all the part of the SOAR platform. So we are going to see that as well. So this is part one of the syllabus, that is Azure Sentinel. Over to you guys. Any doubts? Anything before continuing? Rahman Mohsin.
Yeah, uh, sure. One thing I have to ask about how we can migrate from Splunk to Sentinel. Is there any like you're going to teach us a little bit like how it's work like migration?
Migration. See, whatever data machines are there, the data forwarders are there, point them to the Sentinel. Deploy the Sentinel from scratch, and then point all the forwarders to the Sentinel. That is one way of, if you have already Splunk, you want to use Sentinel, just point all the forwarders to forward data to the Sentinel. This is mainly for the Sentinel, not the data onboarding. Not the data migration and that class. This is mainly for Sentinel, to teach you about the Sentinel, how it is getting utilized, how it is getting used, the console and everything. That's what
Mhm.
it is mean. But
Okay.
generally, if you want to migrate the data, just point all the forwarders to the Sentinel. So then in
Okay.
future, all the data will be gone
Forward.
to
Okay.
Sentinel.
One question. We also studying Windows Defender. Is it part of it?
I'll explain. I'll take you there. This is part
Yeah.
one. I'll be guiding you to the part two of the syllabus as well.
Okay.
Just confirming with you any doubts in this Sentinel part. Everyone
One quick,
clear?
yeah, one quick thing like about the KQL. Suppose we are not totally, I mean, unaware, you can say, with respect to any query language or something. So in that scenario, how much time would we be needed dedicated towards this KQL? How do we go deep down onto this with respect to day-to-day activities on the work?
Sir, you have to sharpen your skills. I'll take 2.5 hours to explain you everything to all the queries. I'll be showing you practical as well. So you have to remember the queries and you have to perform the practicals on your own. I don't think so. It is going to take more than 3 to 4 hours to be an expert on KQL.
All right, so probably there should be a set of regular queries which will be interacting on our day-to-day activities, unless there are like some critical applications or something
Yes, yes.
wherein we
If
can
there is
just
a
take help
critical
or something.
activity, then you have to obviously browse the documentation to understand the command used and all. But yes,
Yeah,
day-to-day
if needed.
activities, that will be clear.
Yeah, set of some commands. So tentatively, how many
Yes.
like Linux? They say like they have like the standard like some 30 commands or 40 commands, which if we know like probably will be able to use Linux on a daily basis or regular basis basically. So in that scenario, is there any set of number of queries or KQL set of commands we need to know so that which will be used regularly? You can say.
Just while teaching through the course, I'll be explaining you and giving you the KQL queries that are regularly used. So around, yeah, 25 to 30 same in Sentinel as well that are
Similarly.
regularly used. But apart from there are more than 200 plus commands.
Wow. I mean, I don't think anybody would be able to remember all those unless
Yes,
you're
yes,
working
right.
diligently,
So
right?
basic queries are enough to clear the interview, and if any advanced thing come, obviously you have to go through the documentation and the stuff.
Mhm. Perfect. That's helpful.
Okay. Any doubt on Sentinel part? Okay, I'll take it as a no then. Let's move to the part two, that is the Microsoft XDR platform training. So I'll be giving you the gist and the overview of the XDR platform on the Microsoft, and then we are going to see the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint EDR. So this is basically new, and I'm covering a lot of things here. We are also going to perform 3 practicals at least on this. I think this got wrongly covered here. So we are going to perform 3 practicals as well. We will be going detail into this EDR part. All these pointers I've mentioned, we will also be onboarding data to the EDR. Yeah. So next thing is Microsoft Cloud App Security. Here I'll be giving you a brief overview about the MCAS and how we can configure MCAS in our environment. Then Microsoft Defender for Identity. we are going to see this as well. So how we can secure the identity on the Microsoft AD Active Directory basically. So Active Directory is involved here. So yeah, and last part is O365 Defender for O365 securing emails and other stuff. So we are going to see that as well. So this is Microsoft Defender for cloud. It is how you can configure and defend the cloud part in the Microsoft. So once we start this, you will get more insights, more detail on this part. So this is the part 2 of the syllabus that I'll be covering in the end once we cover the Microsoft Sentinel part. Any doubt here?
So on the part of the Azure, so how good should we be with respect to the portal, like maneuvering on the portal, to work along diligently on the security part?
See, this is separate part. The security training is separate.
Right.
So you are a security guy, you should be knowing these tools very well, not on the portal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Okay.
good if you know the portal, that is always good. But you should be more familiar with the console of these portals. For example, EDR, Sentinel, MCAS. The console is important here, not the
Yeah,
portal
that's
of
what.
the Azure.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
Right, we do have some background with respect to the maneuvering on the portal, but on a general startup
That will
menus and
be
everything.
enough. Faisal will not be going on to the portal. We will be mainly focused on the tools only, not be
Mm-hmm.
hovering over the other things there. So generally, we will be mostly focused on this tool only, not to the portal.
now, Shahrukh Faisal here. So, Rahman was asking you the question before. So, the
Sorry.
thing is, just take it in a way. We are, fresh to this at this domain. I mean, we have never touched the Sentinel part. We are not the security guy. So, I mean, getting familiarized with all this tool, would you be helping us, or because this is what the first time we are seeing it?
Sir, yes, obviously. So this syllabus is made for you guys only. We are seeing the console in this only. All the points are related to console only. Each and everything in detail. We will be moving into the console. We'll seeing everything live. We'll see how to onboard data. You guys will also be doing the practical as well. See, the key here is Faisal, Rahman, Ahmad, Mohsin. The key here is post doing the class, you also do the practical. You give yourself at least 1 hour. Then only you will get things. Otherwise, I can teach. I'm teaching a number of guys, so they don't do the practical, so they don't get this stuff correct. You have to regularly perform the practical to get it into your mind. So that's how it is. Practical is the key.
Got it. Yep, we'll be probably sitting together and trying to utilize most of the time so that we share the knowledge between us and as well look at the videos what you'll be providing and follow those steps and everything and try to do as much as possible.
Sure, definitely. uh, okay. Any other doubts? Then I think we can start the course. Are we clear? I have to take a break as well. One second, what time it is? Guys, everybody is clear on this syllabus part, correct? No doubts further.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
let's take a 5-minute break. 7:30 it is on my laptop. Get back at 7:35. Okay.
Yep, definitely. Sure.
Sorry for the delay, guys. Okay, I hope everyone is back. Let's proceed ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so I think you guys have seen my video. We already have the brief introduction about myself, so I'm skipping it. Let's proceed ahead. So the agenda for today's session is I'm going to introduce you to the Azure environment. Then we are going to see the important components to get going with Azure Sentinel. What is Azure Sentinel? Why Azure Sentinel? What is log analytics workspace, and what all are the prerequisite for installing the Azure Sentinel? So this is the agenda for today. So without much ado, let's start this. So the course content I've already explained to you. Okay, so this is here. These are the basics before you start the Sentinel. So there are three things, guys: Azure subscription, Azure resource group, and Azure resources. So if we talk about the resources, there are a number of resources that you can create. For example, VM, SQL server, storage account. Sentinel is also one of the part of the resource. Sentinel is also okay. Then we have resource group. These are virtual container to hold the resources. And then we have the Azure subscription. So subscription is the billing part basically. So if I move you to the next slide, that's where it is. So there are a number of resources that you can create inside a resource group. So resource group is nothing, it's just like a virtual compartment where you can store your things, and you can name it, for example, this resource group as A, this resource group as B, and this resource group as C. What is beautiful here is see the basic difference between AWS and Azure here is what I found useful is in AWS, if you create resources in different regions, so you have to reach to different pages in AWS. In Azure, same, it's like same, but if I'm doing any kind of practical, see, if I'm doing any kind of practical in AWS as well as Azure, I am creating a number of machines there. Just take an example, a number of machines I'm creating in AWS and in Azure. In Azure, they are centrally, you can manage them through the resource group. If I'm done with the practical, I can delete this resource group completely. Or if I want to see all the resources that are present in resource group A, I can just click on this one. I'll see all the resources, different resources here. But it is not the case in AWS. So there everything is segregated. So I find it very difficult to once I do the practical to delete all the resources in different region or what all resources I have created. So just that's where I find it useful. So the resource group, once you do the practical, you can just easily delete this resource group so that it doesn't affect your bill. So it's just a virtual compartment where you are holding the resources. Then there are subscriptions. So subscription is the billing part. So in your environment, for example, you are a very big organization, for example, Nika is there. So they have different department. There are HR department, there are DevOps department, for example, in that. So I want to separate them because I wanted to have a control over the cost, and I wanted to see how much money they are spending. So I can create a subscription under DevOps, and I can create all the resources there, all the users there, and bill will be generated based on the subscription only. DevOps, a single bill will be generated here, and for HR, a single bill will be generated here. Based on your organization, you can create a number of subscription according to your. Then there is the last part as well, management group. So this is very high level. I have just included here so that we can have granular control here through the management group. See, in organization, I want to put some restriction. I wanted to put some restriction. For example, these in HR subscription, what all things can be happen, and what all can't. Similarly, in DevOps, what all things can be happen and what can't. So this restriction can't be applied at the subscription level. This restriction will be applied at the management group layer. I'm just explaining you out of the context of Sentinel. So for example, I want to put a policy where this DevOps subscription can create only a particular type of VM. For example, RAM will be 8 GB RAM VM only. They can launch. They can't launch 16 GB RAM VM. Okay, where the RAM is 16 GB because it will be costly. Correct. I can put a restriction directly from the management group that boss, this DevOps users, they will be able to launch only a VM of 8 GB RAM. So that's all different type of restrictions you can apply through the management group layer. Okay. Our Azure Sentinel will be a resource. You will be seeing Azure Sentinel here at the bottom. You can create a resource group to place it in there. And also we will be, since we are doing a practical on a free version of Azure, so the subscription name will be free trial. But if you want to create your different subscription as well, you can create your own subscription as well. So that's how the architecture is. I hope it is clear. Just the basic prerequisite before starting off this Sentinel. Everyone is clear here? Ahmed ji, clear है? Concept is clear. ठीक है. Before starting off, I want you guys, two guys at least, to register on this portal and share the credential amongst yourself. ठीक है? मेरे को भी share कर देना, मेरा भी एक expire हो जाएगा. So see, if you are creating an account on Sentinel, just one second. So if you are creating account on Azure, so you get, I think, around $15,000 to use, and they are valid only for 1 month. Okay, so let it load and then I'll show you. See, within 30 days you have this $15,000 as well as critical services that you can run on free trial. Azure is one of the Sentinel is one of the free services that you can run within 30 days. So post 30 days, it is going to get expire. Brave browser. So I just wanted to show you where to register. To portal azure.com, sign in. So this is the portal .azure.com where you have to sign in first time if you are logging. Okay, you have to sign in your own account. And I want to show you one more thing. Portal Azure free credits. Create your free Azure account today. So either you can create it from there, or you can click on this link and you can create your account here. So popular services are free for 12 months, but critical services are free within 30 days. So your Sentinel is going to run for 30 days only. Post that, you will be needing a new account and a new credit card. So basically they are accepting credit as well as debit card, but they are not accepting the RuPay card. So if it is a Master or a Visa card, they are accepting it. You will be able to create your account. So either you can do one thing, you can have one out of your 4, one guy can create the Azure account on the portal and he can share the credential with everyone. Post 1 month, another guy can create it and he can share the credential. So like that, you guys can run the show for 4 months very easily, and that will be more than enough to understand and learn the Sentinel. Okay. So just here you can click on start free.
Sign up पे कितना credit मिलता है? $15,000.
$200 मिलेगा. It approximately in 15,000 INR.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yep, so that's how you will be signed in. Once you sign in, you will be seeing a portal like this one that I am on this browser. So this will be the portal. So yeah, so please do sign in on the Azure website and do let me know, because this account is also going to expire, I think so, within five days, I think so. So please do register one account and share the credential with me as well. ठीक है. Resource group, resources, subscription. So just quickly walking you through. So here is the subscription. If I click on this one, so you will be inside a free trial subscription. So see, this is a free trial subscription. I'm into a free trial subscription, and inside that subscription I can create a number of resource groups. So I'll be deleting all of them. See, these different resources I have created, and inside them you can hold the resources, different resources. Here are the resources. See, I created a lot of resources, so they are getting hold inside a subscription basically. So that's how the architecture is. So these are the resources. Okay. So yep, let's proceed ahead. Okay, what is Sentinel? So Sentinel is a cloud native SIM solution, as you already discussed. SIM and SOAR capability, both capabilities are there. Azure Sentinel is very intelligent, guys. It is using the machine learning as well. Machine learning, artificial intelligence is also there to detect and prevent threats. Okay, so there are 4 phases to the Sentinel. As you can see on my screen, first is collect data. So it is going to collect a lot of data, all the data that you wanted to ingest into Sentinel. Then it can detect the threats with use cases, as well as threat intelligence is also can be integrated with the Sentinel. And then it is going to investigate, and it can create incidents as well. You wanted to use AI, artificial intelligence also, that also can be used to create incidents and then respond. So in respond, we are going to use the SOAR part. So SOAR capability is inbuilt. So if you have seen in the market, there are 2-3 tools are trending now. So for example, for SOAR capability, there is a Splunk Phantom. Phantom is there. That is a native SOAR solution of Splunk. Then there is Cortex SOAR or Cortex XDR platform. So that is being driven by Palo Alto. So it can integrate with any tool. So that option is there. But what is there in Microsoft Azure is inside Sentinel, this tool is already built in. So you don't have to reach to any third-party vendor or any other vendor. So it is already there. So we are going to see that as well. Okay, so we understood, okay, the Azure portal, the Sentinel. Now the question is why Sentinel is there and why it is required. Why someone, if I pitch in this Sentinel to you guys, so you are already using Splunk or any other tool. If I have to pitch in, or if I have to sell Sentinel, what all are the points are there, or why I'll go with Sentinel. So the first point is traditional SIEM setup requires a lot of Sentinel's setup and maintenance expenditure in terms of software and hardware. If you go with the traditional SIM, for example, ArcSight, QRadar, Splunk, if you go with the on-premise one, then you have to get the hardwares ready, the boxes ready to deploy the Splunk. Then you need a separate team of experts, around 4 or 5 experts, to do all this stuff, maintain the systems, maintain the Splunk system, the ArcSight system, QRadar system. Ongoing expertise is required there. This whole team is required. A lot of knowledge is required in that team, and that is okay. But still, the setup and setup will take approximately 15 to 20 days for all this. But if I compare all these tools with Sentinel, then if I have to set up Sentinel, I can set up Sentinel within you can say 15 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds. I can set up the Sentinel. That's where the difference is. To run the show on the Sentinel, you don't need a team, you don't need anybody. See, in Sentinel, everything is getting managed at the backend by the Azure team, the Microsoft team. They are managing the Sentinel at the backend. What they are telling you, I'm guys, throughout the course, I'll be using layman language. I'll not be using any technical jargons that will confuse you. What is happening in Sentinel is they are running the show. They are running the show. They are running the Sentinel at the backend. They are managing these servers wherever it is installed, whatever they are doing. They are doing at the backend. In simple language, they are just telling you, boss, Mr. Ahmed sir, just bring your data in wherever you want to deploy the forwarder, whatever it is, API method, forwarder, logstash, whatever you want to deploy. Just bring the data into Sentinel. Write your queries, create your dashboard, create your report, create your alerts. You want SOAR capability, use that. You want to integrate it with any of the third-party tool as well, do that. Okay, everything, the backend, we are managing it. You don't have to worry about. What you have to worry about is your data, how it is getting ingested, the use cases, the reports, the dashboard. That's what you are. If you want to correlate with it with Splunk trainings, so if you know Splunk, there is the user and power user training, correct, where we understand the Splunk, how to write reports, how to write queries, how to create reports, dashboards, and alert. That part is here in Sentinel. That's what you have to understand. The Splunk admin part, the backend, how to install the Splunk, how to manage the Splunk, indexer कैसे work कर रहा है, all this stuff, it is not there because it is being managed by Microsoft. They are telling you, boss, you are taking services from us, everything we are managing, you are just bringing the data and you just work on it. That's what it is, Sentinel in layman language. Is it clear? Concept is clear.
In Sentinel, it's more advantage compared to Splunk. Like in Splunk, you have to do so many things. Power user, you have to make it power then index and then push into Splunk.
Yes,
But
yes, right. So once you
uh,
see Sentinel as well, in the end of the course,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. You're saying something. Sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
So in the end of the course, you will see a lot of see, this Sentinel is the tool for the future. There are a lot of advanced things that are still not there in other tools. Splunk, ArcSight, QRadar, they are not matching Sentinel. So I'm working in an organization as a technical lead. So I'm seeing a lot of clients that are moving from QRadar to Sentinel. They are telling, boss, the cost is very less. There are a lot of features are there. So in a lower cost, I'm getting much. So I don't want to run the show on QRadar. Let's migrate from next year on the Sentinel. So that's what is the trend that is happening. So we have around 15 customer on QRadar. Around 3 or 4 of them have already told us that they want to move to Sentinel. So we are in process of moving them to Sentinel. So that's what this is going. A lot of features are there. We will be discussing about that. So don't worry. Estimating for on-premise SIM sizing can be very tedious. See, if we talk about the on-premise part, we have to get the hardware, the hard disk ready, correct? Everything should be ready according to the size that we are going to ingest. Hard disk size should be according to the data that we are ingesting. We have to calculate everything. In Sentinel, nothing. See, cloud, the storage is unlimited. You should have your pockets ready with money. They are going to give you unlimited storage. Same thing is here for SIM. You have money, you can use an amount of storage. Don't have to worry about it. Sims are not scalable and allow less flexibility to changes. So in Sentinel, yes, a lot of flexibility is there. There is no in licensing as well. There is a lot of flexibility. So once we go to the licensing part, that is the next module. You'll see about this as well. Tough to monitor cloud data, especially hybrid structure. So it sometimes become tougher to monitor the hybrid architecture. Cloud data is coming in, the on-premise data is there, but this Sentinel is designed mainly for the cloud type of architecture. The cloud is the USP. Yes, you can onboard the on-premise data as well, but it works more better with the cloud data itself. You can integrate the Active Directory, you can integrate the Azure activity logs, and number of things are there. So yeah, storage becomes too heavy on packet, but in Sentinel, the storage is very less costly. So in the licensing module, that is second module, we'll talk about the licensing as well. So I'll be walking you through the licensing part with granular details, so that if you are talking to any management guy or any senior guy, you can talk on the figures as well. That this much is the amount that we require. Slow and less efficient data monitoring, long query response time. See, nothing is there. The underlying platform is very much efficient. I don't know how these guys are managing it, but the Microsoft team is managing it well. You in the same subscription, see, in the same free subscription, in this one, I can launch 3 Sentinel, 4 Sentinels as well. I just have to worry about the cost, but if cost is not a matter, I can run 3 Sentinel, 4 Sentinel very easily. Okay, so yes, they are managing it very well, and the response time for the Sentinel to run long queries is very less as well. Threat hunting, see, threat hunting is manual in other tools. Splunk tool, the ArcSight tool, QRadar tool, threat hunting is manual. But if you talk about Sentinel, they have automated this as well. You don't have to do anything. So they have already pre-written set of queries. They have created pre-written set of around, I think, more than 200 queries. They have written it. They have stored it on Sentinel. So once you move to the Sentinel portal, it'll show it to you. So there, if you have your data inside the Sentinel, you just have to run the queries. You just click on run. It is going to run all the queries. If any kind of threat is there, you can easily see it. Okay, this is the threat. It came through this query. Everything is automatic. So once I'll guide you through it, you will laugh as well that everything is automatic. So basically what is happening, previously if you work on ArcSight or QRadar, approximately 10 L1 analysts are required for a single client, correct? 10 L1 analysts are required. But if you see the speed of automation in Sentinel, I don't think so more than 5 L1 will be required. So that is also a con for us of the Sentinel, because see, most of the things are automated. So once we go through the portal, I'll show you.
This is good and bad basically. You're
Both, yeah.
downsizing
Absolutely right.
the number of people,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Downsizing the number of people at the lower level, the L1 layer.
Yeah, right. But it's helpful on the other side as well with the automation and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Yep,
Automation is the key here. So they are
right.
putting most of their focus on the automation part. So in another two other tools, the data ingestion is very complex. So I remember the time of 2014 when we got hired by HCL and ArcSight was implemented there. So to onboard a client on ArcSight, it usually completely onboarded. It usually take around 3 to 4 months of hard work to onboard it completely, to have the hardware and everything ready. Then I think around 2018 to 2019, the Splunk get the speed, got the pace in the market. So the time got reduced on ArcSight from 3 months to on Splunk on less than 1.5 months. Then the Sentinel came. So it's now a matter of, you can say, hours. In a single day, if I have everything ready, I can onboard all this stuff, all the whole company to the Sentinel. So that is the power of Sentinel. That's where things are getting automated. That's where they are saving the time. So yeah, that's how it is.
So,
One
So
quick question.
I
Sorry,
just want site
interrupting.
and
One quick, please.
one by one, I'll
Yep.
repeat
Sorry,
it.
Mohsin, go ahead. Then I'll ask.
yeah, yeah. Sharak, I just want to ask, like QRadar and ArcSight, is both are it's same or it's a different tools?
They both are different. QRadar is by IBM, ArcSight by Micro Focus.
So what I wanted to ask is like basically, when did Sentinel get started or came into market so that the companies started using it on a commercial basis by paying the licenses, the subscription, and everything? So which year did it
I
come
have
up?
to check. Sentinel is there in the market, but it is getting pace now only. I think it is in the
Yeah,
market.
I mean, the reason is like with respect to covering up our progress and everything. Once we are done, probably how much duration of experience do we need to put in the front of our resume to say that okay, look, we have 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 year, whatever is
2 years
needed.
at least you
We
should
should not
put.
be going
two
beyond
years.
which has been incorporated in the
No,
market
no, it
itself.
is there for more than 2, 3 years now.
More
But
than two,
you
three
should
years.
put
So
at least
probably
2 years.
at least 2 years. That's what. Yep. So parallelly,
Because if you
I mean,
put
not
three to
only the
four years,
course.
they will expect more.
Naturally, yep. So we don't want to be showing that as a designer or architect or those sort of level. At least we should be able to go in a medium range, a little lower to medium range, so that will be easier.
Right, right,
So they were in
absolutely.
the market, say 3 years back, tentatively.
Yeah, 3 years back you can say, because I've seen a lot of resumes as well, or the JDs as well, where they are mentioning 3 years at least.
Yep.
I don't
And
think so we can get a launch time.
parallelly, I think it would be helpful for us. Anyway, we are the 4 people along in the batch. So if you can keep us updated with respect to the technologies related with Sentinel, mm, around that space, so that we can have some job description, some write-ups, so that which we can put in the resume, number one, and as well expect the interview questions and expect the job duties what we will be doing. So that would be very much needed for us, not just the course, honestly.
Sure, I'll walk you through that as well.
Yep, if you
No
can walk
issue.
us around that way, it will be very much during the course. That will be very much helpful, and
But that
then
first thing
it will
is
give us a
you
very
you need to
yep.
go through the course. Then these
Naturally, yeah, that
things
is
you
yeah.
will
Then
easily
we'll do the
understand.
practicals. Yep, we'll try to do the practicals on a daily
Normalize it will
basis,
be a
inshallah, and
mess.
then yep, I know.
Was the Sentinel launched? March 2019. Yeah, March
Wow,
2019.
it's
Uh,
I think
so
they came
basically
to
3
market
next month.
2019.
So 19.
Yeah,
So 3
2019.
years means at least we can say anywhere
Yeah,
between 1.5 to 2 years would be
but
helpful, right?
as far as I'm checked, some of the job portals, it's 1 year to 3 year, not more than that. 5 years.
Yep.
right.
I mean, we can just say 1.5 year of experience and put
Oh
it
yeah,
over there.
1
That
year is
should be
more
able
than
to drive us into the
I've seen
market.
Mindtree. Yeah, Mindtree is asking for 8 years of experience on Sentinel. I think the guy who created I think he
The job
didn't knew it.
description is today, didn't have idea it had come this one.
Right.
Yeah.
One second, let me confirm the date once. So someone asked, next time I'll be more handy. 2019. ठीक है, मैं इसका document देखता हूँ. I'll let you know guys know because I
That will be
also
helpful.
wanted to
Yeah,
confirm the
whatever.
date.
I mean,
You can check into dark web, bhai. Google Doc.
हाँ, Google Doc.
Yeah, Doc Advanced में जाके देखे.
सर मेरे को चलाना नहीं आता. इसमें क्या है? Google Doc डालू क्या? इसमें तो कुछ आई नहीं.
मैं आपका इन्फॉर्मेशन लेके देता हूँ. When came into the market. मैं आपको अपडेट करता हूँ इसका पूरा कंप्लीट.
मतलब
yeah,
वो
I mean, these are all
प्रॉपर
the things
डॉक्यूमेंट
which
देना
will be
उसका
easier. Yep.
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट
हाँ,
का, वो उसको देखना.
कंप्लीट देता हूँ मैं आपको.
ठीक
Let's continue.
है. So हाँ. So Sentinel overcomes all these challenges and provide a cost-effective SIP service. Azure Sentinel aims to stand out from other SIM tools by leveraging the scalability and flexibility of the cloud, tapping artificial intelligence to reduce cyber threat noise and provide integrated AI-assisted hunting platform automation capability. So a lot of things are there. We'll see. A lot of things are there in Sentinel. A lot of advantages are there, and the main thing is it is cheap as well. On the other front, it is very cheap compared to the other tools. Global prerequisite. If you want to run a show on Azure Sentinel, first thing that is required is an active Azure subscription. So you should have an active Azure subscription. Currently we are running in free trial. That will also work, but for 30 days you should have a new active Azure subscription where it can charge you the billing part. Then we have the log analytics workspace. That's where the storage is happening. This is the storage we'll talk about in detail. So just hold on for a few seconds. So this is where the storage is happening. To enable Azure Sentinel, you need contributor permission to the subscription in which Azure Sentinel workspace relies. So you need the contributor permission as well. So there are different permission, owner, contributor in the Azure portal. So this is the permission that is required by the user who is going to enable the Azure Sentinel. To use Azure Sentinel, it is the contributor or reader permission that is required. See, to enable it, you want a contributor, but if you want to do the daily task and other stuff, contributor or read permission is required on the source code. Additional permission will be needed to connect specific data sources as well. So we'll talk about it when we talk about the data onboarding part. So don't worry about it as of now. Now let's talk about there is a note. By default you have a default 30 days retention in log analytics workspace used for Microsoft Sentinel. To make sure that you can use the full extent of Microsoft Sentinel functionality, raise this to 90 days. We'll talk about it in just a minute. So the next thing is, what is log analytics workspace and why log analytics workspace? See, in Microsoft portal, how the data is getting stored and how things are working. We are going to create a log analytics workspace, LAW. You can think of it as the storage in the cloud. This is the cloud basically. This is inside Azure cloud. We are creating a log analytics workspace. There are a number of machines in the cloud, a number of machines, different services are there. For example, this is SQL service, these are VM. I'm telling them, boss, you just forward your data to Sentinel. Through XYZ means just forward your data to Sentinel, this log analytics workspace. I have on-premise on organization as well. when I'm running the show on premise organization, there are again a number of servers are there. Again, I'm telling you, boss, this is the log analytics workspace. You just forward the data here. So this log analytics workspace is used to store the data. By default, the retention that you can set on the log analytics workspace is 30 days. Okay, free of cost. It is free for 30 days. You can store the data in log analytics workspace. Okay, now the next thing is how Sentinel is coming into the picture. Where is the Sentinel? I'm talking about log analytics workspace, correct? I'm storing the data in the storage, that is the log analytics workspace, where the Sentinel is coming into the picture. So if you imagine it properly, Sentinel is sitting on top of log analytics workspace here, and whatever data is being ingested by Sentinel, Splunk is reading it. So sorry, Sentinel is reading it. I'm sorry, I'm teaching Splunk for more than 4 years now. So Sentinel is reading the data that is stored by log analytics workspace. There are pre-built queries are there, the use cases are there, the alerts, basically the dashboard are there, reports are there. They will get the data by reading this data from the log analytics workspace, and they will showcase you the data on the Sentinel. So Sentinel is sitting on the log analytics workspace and is reading the data, analyzing the ingesting data, basically ingesting the data from the log analytics workspace, and it will be giving you the output. That's how the architecture is. We are going to see the practical as well, how to create a log analytics workspace from scratch, and then we are going to launch the Sentinel on top of this log analytics workspace. I hope till now it is clear, correct?
Yeah, Shahrukh, one question. This Sentinel, when we create as a resource, so like as a resource, it could be a VM, storage, or network. So what you call
No,
it?
Sentinel is a separate service. As a service, you are launching it as a
As a
service, not a VM. Yeah.
as a resource within one of the resource groups, right?
Resource group. Yeah, right. Absolutely right.
So it's a service by the Azure built-in feature which we have to enable. For that, as you said, we need
Yes, absolutely right.
subscription.
To enable it, the prerequisite is you need a log analytics workspace on top of which it is running. It is
So
going
we
to
have
run.
now that storage, which is Log Analytics Workspace (LAW), we will create
Yes.
storage within the same within the same resource group, right?
Yes, it can be in different resource group as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Carry on. Thank you.
Sorry, one question. So when you say it reads the data, what data is it reading? Is it like looking for like unauthorized login? What exactly it is
See,
reading?
that will be part of alerts, basically use cases. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever data I'm storing in log analytics workspace, in real time, Sentinel is reading it. It is ingesting it basically.
And we can choose the data type, or it will be a full data, like
Full data on log analytics workspace. No restrictions there. Full data, whatever is coming in log analytics workspace, that will be
okay.
ingested.
So we don't choose the data from a VM or from any other place. We will just
You can choose at the log analytics workspace layer when you are ingesting the data. You can choose at that time, okay, I want these two VMs only. Let's onboard them. I don't want this one, so let's don't onboard this one.
Okay, so when we choose the VM, we choose the complete data, right? We don't choose the data type within that VM. That okay, I don't want
Yes,
this data.
that also you can do. That also you can do.
Yes,
You want
we
to
can
put filtering, again, filtering and everything is happening at the VM at the log analytics workspace layer. So when you are
Got
onboarding the data, you can apply a filter that I want this log only, I want that log only. So that level of filtering also can be done.
okay, okay.
But in
Perfect.
Sentinel, whatever is coming into log analytics workspace, post filtering and all, whatever is getting stored here, Sentinel is going to read it.
Will be performing is okay. Okay.
Yeah, reading it, performing whatever analysis and all, triggering the use cases. For example, as someone asked whether it will be looking for failed login and all. See, we are going to create use cases on top of use cases or alert inside the Sentinel based on the data that is stored in the log analytics workspace. So if someone is doing a failed login on my VM here, it will generate data. The data will get stored there. It get ingested into Sentinel. Sentinel पे query लगी हुई है. Already there is a query written in Sentinel. Okay, whenever use case written. Whenever failed login happen, generate the alert. So if someone is generating alert, it gets stored in log analytics workspace. Sentinel is reading those data and it will generate the alert basically. So that is the flow. Okay, ji?
So on this premises, computer monitored by the L1 team or manager?
The manager's work is to manage the team. L1 team will be monitoring all this stuff.
Okay.
ठीक है guys, I think I'm done almost for today. मेरे को थोड़ा काम है ऑफिस का, आज लॉग इन करना है.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Any other doubts, guys?
Just the last question. You said whoever like L1 layer, when you assign someone, they have to have a contributor role, right? On that resource.
Yes, on the resource they have to have a contributor role, but inside Sentinel also there are different roles that we will talk about. There is an incident responder role and other stuff, so it is also part. At a high level, if this role is there, the contributor and leader, they can see it. But if you want to go granular, you want to put restriction, then you have to go into the Sentinel, and there you can create a
You can
user
control
set.
it basically.
Yeah.
You can control
Assessment.
through roles, right?
Right.
Perfect.
All right, that's it. Very good. All right, so probably Shahrukh, because during the part when you and Faisal were discussing, I was out of the picture because I had some issue with the sound. So Ahmad and Mohsin updated me about probably having additional day during the week. So probably we are good. So how about Tuesday, guys? Probably inshallah next try to meet on Tuesday then.
Inshallah.
man.
Sir, Tuesday नहीं sir, मेरे
Our
को
Tuesday
अभी
means will be Wednesday your day. Let's talk from your point of view. Wednesday your morning.
हाँ, so ठीक है,
He is
चलेगा.
comfortable, as he said, like weekdays is very comfortable. क्या शाहरुख भाई?
Okay, same time.
हाँ सर, मेरी सर वाइफ गई हुई है सर, अभी ना वाइफ को घर भेज दिया, तो अभी घूमने जाना है वीकेंड पे. तो वीकेंड भी चलेगा, वैसे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, सारे वीकेंड पे नहीं जाऊंगा.
We are good with weekend, and in addition to that, weekday भी रहा तो probably it will be helping us. तो अभी
मतलब ये है कि अगर वीकेंड